What is up, everybody? Gary Simon here. So today we're going to be talking about 404s. Now, I'm pretty certain in over 900 plus videos, I've never discussed or showed you how to design or talked about the UX practices and importances of a 404 page. So first, what is a 404 page? Well, basically when somebody clicks on a link and they go to your website and it doesn't exist for whatever reason, this page doesn't exist, that's called a 404 error code. Also, sometimes people might type in a URL incorrectly, and that's another way that they can end on, a page on your website that simply doesn't exist. So a 404 is just basically a capture for all those people who are ending up on pages that don't exist on your website. Now, there's a lot of people and designers who create these 404 pages that are doing it wrong in terms of a UX perspective, not just a UI design and an aesthetic perspective, but the UX is wrong. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today in this video. We're going to show you a few examples that others have created, and then I'll walk through a few examples that I've created and really just a few really important key tips that you need to know and integrate when you're building your own 404. All right, so if you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe up, give a comment and a like, and let's get started. Now, wait 1 second. If you're interested in 404 pages, maybe you are interested in front-end development of some sort, and if you are, you should definitely check out the front-end development career path at scrimba.com. They've recently launched their front-end development career path, which is a collection of courses that cover HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, and much, much more. As you see, it's over 75 hours of awesome content. There are hundreds of interactive coding challenges, and it's all geared towards helping you go from beginner to someone that's hireable as a front-end developer. So make sure you click on the very top link here in the YouTube description to get access to the front-end developer career path for a very low monthly fee. All right, so I'm going to start off just by showing just a few examples of 404 pages, and ones that I think while they're designed in terms of the UI, they're really attractive, like this one here. I still think they kind of get some things wrong about the execution itself or the other areas of UX that we concern ourselves with. So for instance, this one right here, I love the leaves and the 3D perspective it gives you and stuff for the 404. Of course, it's in a different language that I don't understand outside of the 404. I think they're emphasizing the wrong thing. Your average person, there's still people who don't know what a 404 is. So when you're emphasizing that in terms of the visual hierarchy within the UI, or in other words, making it the most important element, you're kind of confusing people right away. It's going to force them to 404, what is that? That's the thing that you kind of want to avoid as much as possible. Here's another example. This one's slightly better because they do have a decent amount of importance and priority placed upon the secondary element in terms of the importance, which is there's nothing here. So that's still not the greatest verbiage. There's nothing here. We need to think about and put ourselves in the shoes of the visitor or the user. They intended to click on a link. They expected to find content there that's based on that action, and it's not there anymore. And so the page that they land on, which is their 404 page, needs to really address what happened accurately. Simply saying there's nothing here is kind of strange to me. Another one, this is from IKEA apparently. I really like this imagery that's associated with it. Usually you'll see photographs or illustrations of sorts that are in these 404 pages. This one is relevant based on the fact that they're IKEA, they sell furniture. There's a missing leg, very clever, but still has the big old 404, something's missing. Simple call to action down here. This one's probably the best of the three, but I still think it could be improved. So let's talk about, what is the goal of a 404 page? And basically it's to inform the users of what's happened and to keep them on the site, all right? So this is called bounce ratio. When you look at your website stats, like through something like Google Analytics, you'll see something called bounce or the bounce ratio. And basically all that means is when somebody lands on a page, how many people are leaving the site after that? Like, what is the bounce rate? So you want to reduce that number as much as possible. You want to have a low bounce ratio. If you have a bounce ratio that's like 90%, you need to try to remedy that. Now, of course, in the context of a 404 page, these naturally have high bounce ratios because the content they expected to find is not there anymore. So how can you keep them on your site as much as possible? So what we want to have in terms of requirements that I'm putting out there are, you want to address what's happened in a single sentence. That should be the biggest element to address them why this page isn't here, what happened, what is a 404 essentially. And then also give them new destinations, and that's what's going to help reduce your bounce ratio. It could be as simple as just sending them to the home page, maybe if you don't have a lot of content, but also give them a few options to send them areas that are high traffic areas that people usually frequent. You can even add in a search area or search bar. Do anything you can as much as possible to try to keep them on the site, and to direct them ultimately to perhaps where they wanted to go in the first place. And of course, keep it simple. You don't want to clutter this page. So 404 pages need to be simple, but they need to address these couple areas where really it's just two key areas. Address what's happened and give them other areas to go, not just to leave your site right away. So I'm going to show a couple examples that I created here, and we'll walk through these together. So, all right, oops, we couldn't find that page. All right, this is 1,000 times better than just putting a big old 404 there. It just makes so much more sense. But this in and of itself is not enough. What are we missing? We're missing a new direction, right? We need a call to action. So let's continue on with this. So maybe you can find what you need here, and then it's pointing down, and then maybe we just have a few different call to actions. In this context, a business listing page, job alerts, reports. All right, great. Now we've essentially nailed the two requirements that I have, or three rather, if you want to consider keep it simple as a requirement, which it is. This is very simple. You can include the 404 maybe as a watermark or something like that, but the biggest element needs to be the fact that we couldn't find your page or some other similar verbiage for your headline right here, or the main area, the first thing you want them to see. Now I'm going to show you just some different layout examples. So now we're getting into the UI realm. You have a million options from which to choose from when it comes to structuring the UI or the layout itself. This right here, clever 404 graphic. I actually got these from error404.fun. So there's a bunch of cool, free to use illustrations that are in SVG and PNG formats, I think in even other formats. So definitely check this out. All it does is require you to enter your email, and then it just lets you download a zip file right away. So I use that one from there. And as you can see, we have a lot of options. Here's another option. We can put a big old illustration. It's relevant because it's a sailor like searching for new land, right? It's relevant for your 404. And as you can see, we can lay this stuff out really, almost in a million different ways, really, as long as you're adhering to good UI design principles in terms of your visual hierarchy. Oops, we couldn't find that page. That's the first thing they're going to see. That's what we want. And then maybe you can find what you need here. And then we have different links that might be high traffic areas in areas of importance. Again, just other ideas that I'm throwing out here. Very simple ultimately. And that is it. So when it comes to your 404 pages, remember, keep it simple, address what happened. Don't just put a blatant big old 404 and a link to your like a homepage or something like that. Explain what's happened. All right, everybody, hopefully you enjoyed that and you learned a few things about a very important aspect of any website, which is a 404 page. All right, if you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.